this morning, in accordance with attempting to learn how to live beyond the label of mental illness, after transcending, after no longer taking medications, after all of that. What is life all about? I'm rediscovering and recreating and relearning that on a daily basis. And so this morning I did the color run like I said I was going to, and it was a lot of fun. And I took some video, so here are some highlights. I'm here at the color run. Don't know if you can hear me because my phone is inside a baggie. So I'm at the color run, attempting to have fun. I really don't know what I'm doing, but today I'm running and there'll be color bombs, so yay! Five days on juice and kombucha only, and I'm still running. And I feel like I have a big decision to make coming up related to taking a job out of town or staying here and continuing trying to figure out this lifestyle design, trying to figure out this creating safe space or creating some kind of creative company, or I don't know what. I'm leaning towards staying here, and I asked the universe for another coin flip like I did before I went to California. And it said, go to California, don't take the job. And I took the job thinking maybe it would work out, and it didn't. So this morning, I think I said to myself, okay, same thing. Tails are go and heads is stay. And I found a dime on the ground, and it's American dime again, this whole thing with America. And it was heads. And I took that as a sign, of course. And then I was walking and I accidentally dropped the dime. And I was thinking of just taking the tails as tails, but when I dropped the dime, it was heads. So now I'm still waiting for a best 2 out of 3, and I'm going to go seek that out in the next couple of days. And I'll probably skip around like I usually do. I'm experimenting a little bit with wearing a little bit more makeup. What I'm exploring is the more effort I put into myself and my wellness and things like that, how does it make me feel, or how does my life unfold? Not just how does it make me feel subjectively, but how does that create a totally different life? I went to the color run today and I was with some people and I felt very calm and there and present, and I was thinking about how I feel present usually, but also not present, because I feel like there's something I need to do and accomplish, and I'm on this mission, not quite knowing what to do and what to create. And that pulls me away a little bit from the moment, which makes it so I can't co-create with the moment as well. And when I put energy into things that I can do something about, like wellness and myself, then when I am out and about, I feel like the moments unfold with a different quality. And I'm not sure, I'm just experimenting. And I bought this Color Run fanny pack because I like little backpacks to carry stuff. I always need my phone, my chapstick, a hanky, because sometimes my nose runs, and chapstick, and I think I already said that and I forgot. And also my Hearty Nutritionals, of course, now. So yeah, I'm really leaning towards what can this Hearty Nutritional stuff help me design as my life, and really transcend putting any energy into mental health and moving on to something like wellness, which is what I was passionate about before any of this mental health stuff ever happened. It feels a little bit more actual. And what I mean by that is I've spent a year talking to myself, and a lot of it's abstract context, and that was very helpful. And I could continue doing that for a long time. But it might actually be more powerful to just put on a little bit more makeup, as I did today, just for fun, than to talk to myself for 20 hours. I don't know. I'm not sure. And these are the things that I want to test out, reality testing. And also, I had a bit of a conflict with a friend, and then I turned that conflict with that friend into, so far, a 5.5 day juice and kombucha fast. And I ran the run on the fast, and I still feel good. I'm feeling a little hungry. I'm likely going to break the fast when my avocados are ripe, because I haven't had avocado in a long time and I finally bought some. They'll probably be ripe tomorrow. I do have a birthday tonight, so I might have something to eat. I'm just not feeling that hungry, though I am feeling hungry right now, and I want to make juice, but people are sleeping. So yeah, I'm feeling re-inspired by wellness in general. So I'm feeling like if Hearty Nutritionals can help me live that life, then that would be really powerful. I think even if I am tempted to stay in the mental health framework, it'd be more powerful to show transcending and not spending energy than putting it back into being mad about mental health or the system or things like that. And I have done that along the way, and speaking with myself, and can I be done with that and move on to a life of thriving beyond mental health or advocacy or anything. Not that that's wrong, I'm just not sure if that's right for me to put my energy back into that. Because again, if one can learn wellness, if I can learn wellness and move on through wellness, maybe that's more powerful to show that than creating clever things to say about mental health. And it might also show that when one truly does transcend and have proper nutrition, one can then have any kind of life, not necessarily a life of being an advocate or a peer supporter, because sometimes that seems like the best possibility, but maybe anything is possible. And today I got to have my first shower in Swirl water, which is what I call this device I have, which is from alivewater.com, and I do know the person who sells this, and it's a great product, and it makes the water structured, and it actually makes it so the chlorine doesn't go into the air. So one's not having a chlorine shower, and it feels really magical. It really is magical water. When I have a bath in this water, it doesn't really change temperature, so I could have an hour bath and the water doesn't get cold. So it does have some really cool properties. It's antibacterial, so it won't make cloth smell or anything, and I'll talk about it more later, but it's one of my favorite things in the world, and it was my first shower in Swirl water since before I left for California. That was really exciting. And also, I got to make some yerba mate because I grabbed some from my place. I make it in a bodum, and I'm drinking that right now. And I finally got more of my favorite toothpaste, which is this. It's salt toothpaste and makes my teeth feel so clean and amazing. And now that I'm back home, I get to use my water pick, which is one of my favorite things ever. I got it at Costco. So when I was having a shower today after the run, I felt like it'd be cool to travel around to different wellness events. And even after the run, we went out for food. I didn't eat, I just had an orange juice. And it seems like even when we do healthy stuff like run, we still tend to go out and have something that's not that great. And so I was feeling my anal retentively healthy vibe today, and I have been lately, and maybe more of that is needed in the world, and maybe I can move more in that field again. Maybe it's only very temporary, but it's cool. I don't think I've ever done a juice only fast for this many days, and it just sort of happened. I translated that conflict with a friend into a 5.5 day juice and kombucha fast, and I'm not really that hungry. And I never like to force anything. I like to let things happen, and it just kind of happened. It's not like I planned it or thought, oh, I have to do this or something. It just happened, and I'm seeing the benefits for sure. So yeah, I felt kind of like my old health nut self. And last night I took a picture of my kind of six-pack in the mirror just to share results, I guess. So I'm wondering if I can translate myself back into being into wellness, actual wellness, like drinking yerba mate, which is actual, or eating avocado, which is actual, or drinking juice, which is actual, or putting a little bit more care into my appearance, which is actual, instead of making stuff up, which was very helpful to get myself out of a made up story about mental illness. So it was almost like homeopathy, just creating more of that abstract story stuff in order to get rid of that old story that at this point is no longer true. And I'm still going for the 9-month mark to see if the micronutrients are able to prevent crisis. In a way, I'm feeling more on the manic side, if you want to call it that. Even though I don't feel manic, I'm feeling like my gestures and my behaviors are moving towards that, which is sort of like embody my mania. So perhaps by being really into wellness and being healthy in that way, maybe that makes it a lot easier to embody my mania. I feel like time is slower. I feel like I have more energy, way more time. Time feels different. It's sensed as different in different situations. And so one can move in a way that one designs one's life where time feels like it's not rushed, like it's moving slowly. So there's a lot of different dynamics that I'm noticing right now. And I'll try to talk about those with myself because it's all new. It's new to be in contact with the world again without toxic medications in my body. And, there's a chance that I could go into a mania and then have a depression or something, but I'm thinking the micronutrients will help to keep me stable. But at the same time, I feel like they're not the answer, in that I still need to design my life. When I'm not designing my life, when I'm not in that state of action, then it doesn't feel good, if you want to call it good. I feel a little bit depressed, but I don't feel depressed. It's a strange sensation. It's not depression, but it feels slow. It's more like time passing faster and slower at the same time. It's passing in a way that as the moments tick by, it doesn't feel right. I'll try and talk more about that as time goes on. And it was sort of fun to dress up a bit silly today and go to the color run. So I'm thinking of ordering a pink tutu or rainbow one for jumping on the trampoline or rollerblading or something, and be a little bit more silly and happy. And this really was an event where people are being silly and happy, and it's ridiculous and fun, and it was nice to be in that energy. I feel like finding people and places and spaces of that energy and abiding in that, and inviting people like me who have been labeled and pathologized into that space, as opposed to going back to immerse myself in the space of pathology and mental illness, which really brings me down. It's really sad, and I want to show the way for myself, and maybe that will help other people. If I stop now and I feel like, oh, I'll help people get onto hearty nutritionals, yet I haven't figured out how to design my life after the fact, then I don't know if I'm really helping people. I have a tickle in my throat. I keep coughing. So I have a fisherman's friend. And yeah, this question of what really helps the world. And I think it's doing things that are within our power to do, which is action. So me doing actions towards myself of kindness. Perhaps it's self-epigestretics. And the more one does that for oneself, one also does that when one is out and about with other people naturally. But if I go around in life pointing fingers, and that's the way my brain is oriented, then it's not acting, because pointing fingers is saying something. And that's why I want to move this dialogue with myself more into action and more out and about. I was thinking I could be a wellness traveler, reviewer, traveling around, going to healthy places and healthy products. I love that stuff. I used to really love it. But I've used my lack of finances as an excuse to stay away from that stuff. But I think it's worth the investment. And interestingly enough, a 5-day fast is pretty cheap. And I watched a video by Jason Silva today called All Realities Are Virtual. He's talking about the exact same thing. I won't say what he said because it's easy enough to watch it. It's a 3.5-minute video. So much of what I've said to myself is in there. Altered states are a type of immersion, and sometimes it's a deep awe experience, and I'm wondering if I can translate that into a life of self-epigestretics. Maybe that's part of embodied mania. I think that's actually the part that gets partly out of hand when we go into that state, is that We forget to act kindly towards ourselves. We're trying to do so much to help the world. We forget to feed ourselves. And I had a great conversation the other day with someone from Muse, the brain sensing headband. And maybe I'll talk about that later because my throat has a tickle and I can't stop coughing. I'm still getting over this throat thing.